What a basic bitch.
I embrace the title basic.
Are we not gonna acknowledge the fact that in the first episode you admitted I went to Starbucks for brunch?
No, I didn't go to I went local. For
Oh,
brunch.
you went.
Oh, that's
local
worse.
brunch.
That's
Yeah.
worse.
That's like way more basic.
Starbucks
white girl.
doesn't do brunch.
No, they do like pastries
They do
and stuff.
pastry. You could technically have brunch, but you'd have
Yeah.
to order multiple things. I feel.
Yeah, and
That's fucking
Starbucks is a
expensive.
Yeah, I
bit
can
like
imagine.
a pret. You know, like pret a manger.
With less sandwiches, I'd say.
Yeah.
More pastry.
I think they
focused,
have
yeah.
sandwiches, but I
very
wouldn't go
few.
for
No.
it. No. We're actually getting a Starbucks in the next town over.
Nice.
They're building a drive-through one.
Oh, that's weird.
No, but it'll be like you can sit in or you can take away as well as
Okay,
usual.
okay.
That'll
going to
be
brunch.
it'll be a fucking game changer if it's on one of the delivery services. I have a proper coffee machine as the thing as well, so like
It's just the convenience of it being brought to you. Where you're
yeah. If it was a Costa, I think like it would be way more tempting. But as a Starbucks, like I'm not a big fan.
That's fine.
I don't mind it, but yeah, I'd go for Costa over Starbucks.
I am neutral in this.
You're not really a warm liquids drinker, are you?
No. Thanks for saying it like that.
I couldn't think of what else to say, and it just.
I should try coffee at some point. Just any coffee.
I don't know if you'd like it though.
I don't even like coffee that much. I'm a hot chocolate person and like teas.
It's a
and
bit
stuff.
of an acquired taste, I think.
I'm sort of been tempted just to wake up in the morning because I am horrible when I wake up.
Never use it as like
No.
your start of day thing because that's just how you get a caffeine addiction.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no downsides.
There's plenty of downsides.
Aw. CGP Grey lied to me.
If you like start drinking it all the time and then you like start trying to like either cut it out or you miss a day of drinking it, you'll get the shakes and you'll get like
You'll
Oh, okay.
fucking notice.
oh you'll
Okay,
you'll
cool.
have headaches. You might just get headaches from having that much of it as well.
Alright, scratch that.
Yeah.
Just every now and then it's fine.
Yeah, like
Totally.
like I say, I have a coffee machine, but I don't drink it often, and it's more just kind of like I'm in the mood. Yeah. This is
Quite the preamble.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it's for this isn't even for the podcast we're recording.
No. Maybe this conversation won't see the light of day.
Oh well, I'll get stitched to the beginning of something.
Great.
Welcome to Anime Nap.
Anime nap,
Let's take some anime naps.
napping me.
Napame Lane. Can we start, please?
Yes. Hello, internet's passers-by. Welcome back to Napcast. As always, I'm Rebel Notorious, and joining me as always today is Sean
That's me.
and Melina.
Ha.
So
You just laugh at them.
Ha.
don't laugh at the viewers, as you
Maybe
can tell.
they deserve it.
If you
you
feel
guys.
you don't deserve to be laughed at, you can sue Melina at.
You can sue me. Contact my lawyer.
And if anyone is affected by the subject of tonight's show, you can call the helpline on screen now.
This is a podcast.
And
That's the joke.
That's the joke. As you can probably tell, we don't really have a plan for this episode.
Yeah.
We're just gonna
If
see
the last
where it
episode
goes.
if the last episode wasn't off the cuff enough,
Yeah.
this is fully off the cuff. We've got no
Yeah.
theme this time.
So I'm gonna start it off. Have I told you guys about the Courgette Club?
The
Oh my
Courgette Club.
god. I know. I want to hear about it now.
I have been.
You might not want to
Oh,
know
God.
about
I've
it by
been
the time I'm
in
done.
anticipation for this since you brought this up as a possible thing you were going to talk
Yes.
about like 2 weeks ago to me.
So I think this started before summer. At work.
Are we gonna have to like bleep names or anything?
No,
to
I'm
keep-
not gonna mention any names. There was something discovered in the bathroom.
Oh god.
Shit.
Oh.
No, in the waste disposal basket.
Shit.
Well, that was part of it.
Oh.
There was a courgette with a condom on it.
Oh yeah, that you immediately kind of know at that point.
Yeah. So it was found in the bin. Fresh.
Well, how
Fresh.
fresh can it be?
Well, there's been a few times where it's been found like hours after. So yeah, they find the courgette. One time it was a cucumber.
I was expecting a cucumber, to be honest.
with condom over it and feces on it as well, in the men's bathroom. And so of course security has to look into this. So they rewind through the day's footage.
Who
and
walked into the bathroom?
They find a guy go into the produce department, buy a packet of courgettes, pay for them at self-scan, go into the bathroom, come back out, go into the health and beauty section, buy the condoms, go to self-scan, pay for them, go into the bathroom, and come out 30 minutes later.
So I hate to say it, but this implies he tried without.
No. So he does this every time. He'll pay for the courgettes, stash them, buy the condoms, go in, spend 30 minutes, and come back out.
This is a multiple occurrence.
Oh, yeah.
Because you said every time.
Yes. Because I was at work last Friday, and I went to go to the toilet on shift, and it was maybe 7:30.
Don't tell me you encountered them.
No, there was like
guys,
there was like
you.
4 people standing at the entrance to the toilets, and I'm like, guys, you
What's
good?
happening?
Yeah.
It's
What's
like
going on?
the cleaner, the security guard, the porter, and someone else, and I'm like, guys, good? Like, we found another one. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh God, no!
I hate that it's become one where you can just say it's another one, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, I thought that stopped, and they're like, nope.
No,
and I'm like, oh god,
with a vengeance.
and then you know what? No, I'm not going to tell that part of the story. I'll tell you that part of the story off the podcast.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Not for your ears.
No. But yeah, so I don't know if they check. Well, they have to check the security cameras for it after that. But yeah, basically every time he'll buy the courgettes, put them in the bathroom, go buy the condoms, and then go into the bathroom, have a good time, dispose of it in the bin, and leave the store. And we kind of can't do anything because he's not stealing.
No, he's paying. Unfortunately, he pays
Yeah,
for it.
unfortunately he pays for it, and he also isn't technically doing it in public because he's doing it in a cubicle in the bathroom. So we just kind of have to
live with it.
Yeah.
Stop selling courgettes and cucumbers.
Yeah.
That's my logical conclusion. Whenever you see him, it's like, code courgette, code courgette. Hide them.
What gets me though is it was like always courgettes except for one time.
They were clearly out of courgettes.
Like in the middle, and I'm like, were we out of courgettes that day?
Yeah.
But also, cucumbers seem like the more like obvious choice.
Yeah.
Aren't cucumbers bigger?
No, aren't courgettes like
It depends
thicker?
on the courgette. You have smaller courgettes and bigger.
I think we only sell courgettes in a double pack where they are like thick.
They're chunkers.
Oh yeah. Like you could batter someone over the head with it, you know. Like
Or
whereas to me the cucumbers scream more, you know, stick them up your butt.
where do you rate the cucumber on the scale?
Yeah, on the scale.
Because that's always been our reaction. It's like, why courgettes?
Yeah, like it just I part of me wants to understand. Like there's like.
You want to study this?
Do you feel like he doesn't feel there's space at home for him
Well,
to
this
do
is the
this?
thing is like,
Is it part of
inevitably,
the
like
kink?
when it comes up, it's like people I work with are like, but why? And I'm like, it'll be a kink thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm like,
still,
it'll be like he'll get a kick out of doing it
doing it.
with the risk or like with the chance
Yeah.
of being discovered.
Like I understand there's no legal way to do it, but at this point I'm like, everyone's kind of aware,
Yeah.
and at this point you might know what he looks like.
I don't, but I think that's because there's a certain
You can't see the
yes,
video,
there's certain legal things in place that means that security are the only people that can view those sort of things. We can look at security footage with security permission and stuff like that, but like obviously they need to print pictures out of these people, but we're not allowed to view those images.
Yeah.
So it means that most people don't know what the guy looks like.
No, yeah.
Only security are aware of that, so
I'm trying to even think of solutions. Like the only thing I can think of is just put a note in the bathroom. I know this is specific, but please, for the love of God, do not shove courgettes up your fucking hole, you asshole. Like,
nice use of hole.
Yeah, like, is at that point he must be so embarrassed. Oh, people know.
Yeah.
Like, that should be enough for someone to
I
be like.
feel like he has to know that we know at this point, though.
Yeah, I think some people don't understand. Others will see trash. Like, just because it's out of your mind doesn't mean no one will see it.
Yeah, like someone needs to empty that.
Yeah,
And
someone will see it and ask questions.
Yeah, like he's not just coming in and like every day he's like, oh, yeah, 4 now. You know, like
it appears it's time for me.
yeah, he's like looking in the bin. He's like, oh, 5 days in a row. Oh.
Nice. Yeah, like he sees it disappear. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Like so he knows people clean it.
Yeah.
Oh, this begs so many questions.
I know, right?
God.
And it always happens in the morning as well. So is the morning.
Why in the morning?
I know, like that's my big.
He gets a cup of coffee and I was like, you know what?
No, it's about
Is he on his way to work? And he's like, oh shit.
I never forgot something.
Yes. Yeah, it raises so many fucking questions.
You should just ask that whenever someone rings up at the self-checkout courgettes, a prompt pops up. Can you promise that this will not be taken into the fucking bathroom? We will not explain.
Please know that you're on camera, and if you're purchasing courgettes, you may be followed if you go into the bathroom.
Genuinely just put up a sign that says no food or drink in the bathroom.
I feel like that doesn't need to be a sign, like just in general. Don't take food and drink into the bathroom.
Yeah, but like if this is an actual problem, just put it up there and see what happens.
Yeah, he's like, well, now you've caught me. I
I don't think that's gonna stop him, to be honest.
Because he's not consuming the courgettes. I mean,
I hope not.
I mean, judging by the aftermath, he's not.
I don't think he'd want to.
What I always think is like, I think we only sell them in multi-packs, so what's happening to the other one? Is he taking it home?
One?
There's only ever one left in the bucket at a time.
Maybe he takes one home.
Part of me just thinks like I don't want to say I hope he doesn't have a family or anything, but like it's fucking weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he comes home holding a single courgette, no bag around, no like sticker on it, like this is how much it is, I'd be like, where the fuck did you get this courgette? Oh, I just bought it. It's like,
That
where's your
family
receipt?
must be fed up of eating courgettes.
Every day.
Every day.
Someone just comes home and says, what are we having for dinner? Courgette? I hate courgette. Can we please eat something else? No. I'll get you a cucumber next week, but that's it. And then we're going right back to courgettes.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that's
of all the things I've seen in, like, bathroom trashes, that's the one. Oh, God.
Thankfully, I've never actually seen it.
I would gag.
Yeah.
I would... Scarred.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm glad
therapy
I didn't
session.
see it on that Friday night, because I think, if he's in the morning, and this was like 7:30 at night, that must have fucking stank.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were like, it seems fresh. And I'm like, if he's only in the morning, it's not fresh, it's just pungent.
Yes. God.
Jesus.
What gets me though is like that day I went into the bathroom just before I started my shift, and like the smell of that accumulates if it's not cleaned up, and I'm like, how the fuck did you was it just not like as soon as you walked in you were just hit in the face by that smell?
Because is it an open trash can?
No, but I still feel like it's just a
at
shitty
some
plastic
point-
lid. Yeah.
At some point it'll,
Yeah.
Like I've seen like pregnancy tests and alcohol in the same like trash
yeah,
can. And I'm
yeah.
like, that's a night for someone.
Yeah.
Someone's had a night.
Yeah.
And that's like the worst I've seen, to be honest. This is a whole nother level of things you read on the internet. You're like, sure.
Yeah. But when
whatever.
when you're hearing it related to you from someone who works in a store, you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I didn't know people like this actually existed.
I didn't think it would happen like in a store I worked in, because that's just
You always think you're safe.
Oh
But
yeah,
no.
yeah.
This is something that happens to other people.
On a similar note,
Oh God, how
Oh,
can
Jesus
anything be on a
fucking
similar
Christ.
note?
there was one night I wasn't in this night. Thankfully, I wouldn't have known what to do. In fact, I have 2 other stories, and it's all related to the shit part of it. So I'm sorry.
This is the theme of the
I'm so
episode,
sorry.
folks.
Welcome to shits and shit stories.
Yeah,
Welcome to the shit show.
that's what you're calling this episode.
Sure. Okay.
I'm afraid I won't have many stories to contribute.
Yeah, I will have none.
So these next 2 stories have only been related to me by people I work with. These aren't my stories. I wasn't in either of these days. Thank fucking God.
These are their stories.
These are their stories.
Dun, dun.
dun dun. In the U.S. Penal Code.
Penal.
So there was one night a person was in and they were, a little worse for wear, and we may think that they had something going on mentally, but there was marks on their jogging bottoms on the back, and they went up into the clothing section, which I have to make a mental effort not to call it the clothing brand name and give away where I work.
Other brands are available.
Mysterious clothing brand.
It's a very specific
Yeah.
clothing brand.
Yeah,
But yeah, so they go up into the
Greg's.
clothing section.
You work at a Greg's at the clothing section.
Sure, that's going to be canon now in the podcast.
Canon, yeah.
So they go into the Greg section. And they're like, I just want to try some stuff on and just
they're-
drop trow. Fully. Everything out. Trousers, boxers,
just
everything down.
hanging.
Yup. And someone's just like, so in the store I work in, it's like you
Greg's.
you come in
The Greg's,
in the
yeah.
Greg's, you come
Greg's
in
clothing
the
store.
the Greg's clothing store,
Trademark.
the Greg's supermarket. you come in and it's like you've got your magazines, your sort of home stuff,
Yeah.
and then you have the clothing section, and you go up. And it's like there's a part of the clothing section to your left, and you can turn and go along like the back of the store where like the bakery and stuff is. And so someone's walking up to turn to go along that way, that one of my colleagues, and they just turn round and just see this guy's arsehole as they're bent over, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
That for me is a moment where I legit turn around like, this is not for me to deal with.
Yeah.
This is not for me
No. At
to
that
deal
point,
with.
I turn around and go, I'm going home.
It's my 2 weeks notice right here. My 2
I'm
weeks
going
notice
home.
right up there.
And I think at the time we only had 2 sort of young girls working in the clothing department and the
Greg's.
Greg's
Get 'em out.
clothing department.
Other
Get 'em out,
brands
get 'em
are available.
And they're just like, we're gonna get security. And I don't think there was security in that night.
Oh.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
one of the colleagues that I work with, Alec, lovely guy, very insane.
Ah, nice.
Loves Greg's.
It's just like straight up to him, like, get those brakes up and get out the store. And the
Filthy McNass.
the person, I can't remember what they done after that, but they were basically like, didn't leave and instead went along the back of the store and was like heading to the toilets and tried to go into the women's toilets
Oh, for fuck's
and started
sake.
claiming that they were trans.
Yeah.
And it was like, it
I
was just
don't
such a
care.
bizarre situation.
Like
that,
at that point, I don't care. You wouldn't have to leave. I
Yeah.
don't care if you have to use bathroom.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
so I
fucking
think at
piss
this
outside.
point,
I
the
don't
the
care
manager,
if you are trans.
yeah,
Like at that,
Yeah.
you've exposed yourself in public. You need to get out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so at this point, the manager's involved, and they're trying to get them out of the store, and like apparently there was just shit,
Oh.
Ugh.
it's, yeah, just fully like kicks out, bollock naked, just there.
On a Thursday
On a
afternoon.
Thursday afternoon. I think it's out on a Saturday night actually.
That'll be more fitting.
Yeah.
The sun is still out.
I remember coming in the day after that and being like, what the fuck? But yeah, I think they eventually managed to get them out, but it was just such a bizarre situation of like, why are you doing it, sir? This is a Greg's.
Other brands are available.
And the other story,
I hate that
God.
there's a third.
Why?
Like, I'm enjoying this, but
All-
Jesus fucking Christ.
So this one,
This shit quite literally comes in 3.
yes. So hold your stomachs for this one.
Oh, great.
one of my colleagues. I was on my break when she told me this, and she was like, "Are you finished eating?" I'm like,
Why would you ask me
"Yeah."
this?
Yeah. In a Greg's.
I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Right, okay, I've got a story to tell you." So she was working one night, and
I'm gonna imagine no matter what story you tell right now, you just spewed immediately right after.
so they were working one night, and apparently like someone had like called for a cleaner because there was stuff on the floor in one of the aisles, and it was shit. And so
Well, shit.
and it turns out there was a trail leading to the bathroom.
Oh.
So my colleague follows it and goes into the bathroom, and the woman walks out of the cubicle and goes, "Some nasty shit has shat everywhere in there," as there is shit dripping down her leg. As she is like trying to clean it up, and it is like so, it's like, you know, and so, you know, my colleague's like, "I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave the store." As like, you can,
Yeah.
I'll try and help my best to kind of, you know,
Help
get
you
you
out,
cleaned up
yeah.
and help you, but you just need to leave. And so she walked. Oh, she was walking away, and it was squelching in her shoes.
Oh.
And that was the part where I was like sitting there, and I'm like, "This story doesn't sound too bad." And she goes, "It was squelching in her shoes." And I'm like,
No, it's
and the thing is, she keeps telling me the story occasionally just to get that reaction from me.
God. Was it an older lady or something?
No, that's the
No?
thing.
Someone just said some horrible ideas.
Yeah. And so, like, you know, she leaves
I
the
love how she
bathroom.
tries to play it off like some. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and she's
what
like
is-
cleaning it out. And like, apparently she was wearing like a summer dress, and you could just see it all down the back.
Ugh.
And she like was leaving, and she didn't go like for the exit. She went to like go further at the store, and my colleague's like, "Where the fuck are you going?" She's like, I'm gonna get my husband." She's like, "Leave." No, she's like, "I'm gonna go finish my shopping." My colleague's like, "Leave
No.
now."
Like,
Come back a later date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go home, get yourself cleaned,
and then we can talk.
and then shop
Yeah.
in another store.
Yeah. Not in this Greg's.
Yeah,
Not in this
Not in
fucking-
this, Greg's. Like,
No.
I'd never be able to live something like that down. And like, I
No.
get the embarrassment of it, but not coming out and going, "Oh my God, I
I'm so
can't believe someone
sorry."
would do this."
Like-
Like, it wasn't me, it was
I
someone
would,
else.
like, I can't imagine myself in this situation. I feel like I'd be crying,
Oh yeah.
apologetic, panicking.
Yeah, I wouldn't be trying to like pass the blame onto someone
no.
else.
Especially when it's that fucking obvious.
Yeah.
Like, I'll own up to it. I'm gonna feel horrible. It's gonna be the most embarrassing time in
yeah.
my life, but don't blame someone else.
Yeah,
So my colleague then had to follow her as she's leaving. Just mopping up after her.
Febreze everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
There's definitely been times where I walked into a store, I'm like, it smells like shit in
Yeah.
here. And I never wanted to think that it was actual shit. I was like, oh, maybe it's just like some
Yeah.
sewage pipe or something.
I mean, even at the train station, like this.
Oh, the
there is
train
like a
station.
50% chance that a train station smells like stale piss or
Oh,
shit.
but like the train station we come from, I don't want to say which one exactly.
Yeah.
But like even the tram stop next to it, there's just a smell
Yeah,
that permeates
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I was at like the tram station waiting for Melina, and I sat down like on the bench there, and I was just like, smells like shit here.
I do my all
Smells
my
like
shopping
shite.
like in the grocery store next to it, and so every time I come back to the tram stop to go home, I'm again, still, really, like, you know, something bad can happen once.
Yeah.
It's there for maybe a day or two. It shouldn't be a constant
Constant.
smell.
There's gotta be something wrong with the drains.
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me.
We're gonna like go home today and be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's my hat trick of stories involving shit.
I don't know how the fuck to follow up from
No,
that.
say like, I have some friends who work as they take summer job as cleaners in like this host home for like mentally disabled people.
Yeah.
And so they do deal with having to clean up feces in like the shower and stuff.
Yeah.
And he told me like, you get very desensitized to it because you have to
Yeah.
kind of just disconnect.
Yeah, disassociate.
Like if you think about it, you can't do it.
Yeah, but
It's
the
a-
thing is, that's not our job. And
No.
so,
Exactly. It's
yeah,
not your
you're
job.
not supposed
Yeah.
to be expected to
and
do
that night, I don't think we had a cleaner in, so it
Oh.
meant that my colleague
Someone.
just had to
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah.
And like that is where I absolutely draw the line personally. Like if
No, yeah,
someone
yeah.
throws up
Fuck
or
it, no.
shits themselves, I'm not fucking dealing with
No.
it.
Yeah, like at that, I'm genuinely, if I was in that situation working at the Greg's,
Yeah.
and I were you, I'd be like,
I have to go
No.
home.
Yeah, no, I'd probably throw up next to them.
No, exactly,
If they threw
that's
up
how
or
I-
if they shat
no.
themselves, I'd be puking as well.
Oh
Like
yeah.
100%. Like at my job in the bakery, it was a supermarket chain as well back home for me. They told us like, oh, you know, you're one of the last people in, so if you could just clean the bathrooms and like
Yeah.
empty the dishwasher and do this and this. I'm like, I have so many extra tasks in the bakery itself. Like I have to handle the recycling point. I have to also take all the trash out and
Yeah.
everything. Like I'm not doing that extra shit.
yeah, like we have to clean up if anything, you know, like smashes or falls.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's fair.
yeah, and like I totally get that. You know, we clean up after ourselves in terms of like rubbish and you know, coat hangers, security tags,
course.
and all that sort of stuff. Draw the line at cleaning a bathroom or cleaning up after someone
No, no.
throwing up or shitting themselves.
They told me, oh, just do it. And I just never did.
That's fair, absolutely
No
fair.
one kept track of it. And I asked like some of the other colleagues that were my age because I was like 14, 15. I was
Yeah.
like, how do you do? Where's the stuff? They're like, oh, just don't do it.
Fair.
Like they were like, they can't recommend it's not part of your job. They can ask
Yeah.
you to do it, but you can say no. It's fine.
I think that's sort of the position we're in. Unless you're a cleaning colleague, you don't have to. Like you can ask, but you can say no.
Exactly.
Um,
You ain't forcing me to clean.
oh,
shit.
100%
Yeah.
no. Did I tell you about the guy that like squared up to me?
no, but
Oh,
please indulge
continue,
us.
please.
So it is 10 to 10 at night. And if you don't live in Scotland, you may not know that alcohol can only be served within a store. If you're in a bar or whatever, it's different. If you're in a store, alcohol can only be purchased between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Not a minute before, not a minute after.
Even like some restaurants, I've gone out to brunch.
Oh yeah, I
And
think a
they're
lot
like-
of like restaurants,
Yeah.
unless you are considered a pub or a club, you're subject to these rules.
Yeah.
So it is 10 to 10. And I see your security guard giving someone a hand at the self-scan. And he calls me over because the person was purchasing a microwave, which was like £40 on the shelf, and it was scanned through like 40 or something like that. So I'm like, oh, I'll fix that. If the customer had said it, I would have gone and checked the price, but the security guard was like, no, it's this much on the shelf. So I was like, cool, don't
Sure.
have any
Yeah.
reason not
Trust you.
to trust you. So I put it through. It's all grand. By the time I'm done, it's like 5 to 10. And I finish at 10 anyway. So I'm like, cool, nearly done. And the gentleman that was being helped by the security guard was like, right, I'm gonna go get some liquid refreshment. And I'm looking at my watch like, oh, for fuck's sake. And the guy was on something. Because he was hard to understand and was like wobbling about.
Okay.
I'm like, oh,
One of those nights.
yes. And he's like, you know, how many super lager, mate? I'm like,
Super lager?
super lager. And I'm like, well, if you go to where the spirits are, I was like, if you go up the aisle directly in front of them, up to the top of it, on your right hand side, that's where all of our lagers are. I was like, I don't drink lager, so unfortunately I can't help you beyond that. So he staggers up there.
You were like, it's probably gonna take him like 10 minutes. To
Oh
come,
yeah,
it's
so
fine.
he staggers up there, and
Yeah.
I'm putting a couple of things back, and then I see another colleague helping him up there, and then he like staggers back down, and he's like, "You don't have any." I'm like, okay.
All right. Then.
How is this my
Go-
problem?
Yeah, and it is
Go to
like
Yorker.
it is like 2 minutes to
Yeah.
10, and I'm like, how's only 3 minutes gone past? And so we're, there's like there's a handful of us kind of milling around checkouts as we're done cleaning up and we're just kind of waiting
End of
to
shift.
leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I look at my watch and it hits 10 and the guy is there with their security guard looking at vodka. And I shout over at the security guard, I'm like, Mark. I was like, that's 10. I was like, you can't buy it. I was like, oh, right, no bother. And then the guy's like, what? That's a fucking joke. And I'm like, sorry, mate. I was like, it's the law. And he's like, you could sell it up to 10 o'clock. And I'm like, well, it's 10.
It's 10, yes.
Up
It's like,
2.
yeah, up to. I was like, we can't sell it beyond 10. He's like, it's only a couple of fucking minutes. And I'm like, look, it's the law.
I
I'm
can't
not going to
break
break
it.
it.
Yeah.
At this point, he had come round and was like going out the store. But at the point I said it's the law and we can't break it, even if it's only a couple of minutes, he like wanders back up and he's like right in my face. And he's like maybe half a head smaller than me.
Oh.
He's missing an eye.
Oh.
And I'm just standing staring at him and he's like 55 or 60 and I'm like, okay.
What do you want?
What
from
do
me?
What
you
you
want
want
me to do?
And he says something and then just like wanders off. And I'm like,
Okay.
what the fuck?
Then he waddled away. Waddle.
I was like, I wasn't concerned because I'm like, I could take him.
I feel like one small push and he'd be on the ground.
Yeah, I was like, he's wasted
In
as it
this
is.
sort of situation, I feel like I could take him.
Yeah. I was like, wandering away and I'm like, oh, fuck. I was like, he's getting a taxi. He's like, he's going to be outside waiting. And my aunt picks me up from the front of the store and I'm like, I'm going to have to go out and he's going to be there.
Yeah.
But luckily when I went out, the security guard was with him.
Oh, thank God.
Like giving him a hand into the taxi stuff. And I'm, oh, thank God.
I can imagine, like, in my head, like, the security guard saw that and was like, I'm just gonna...
Well, I spoke to him like later and he's like, I totally didn't see him screwing up to you. And I'm like, how did you not?
okay.
I was like, you were literally looking at us.
Alright then.
He's like, some fucking help you are. Why didn't you tell me where that super lager was? I'm like, I told you where the lager was. I'm like, I don't drink it. I was like, I can't help you beyond telling you where it is. I don't know what else you want me to do. And yeah, he's like, fuck off. Just fuck off. Yeah, I've not seen him back in, but apparently he came in the next week and was given. Sorry, I'm slipping into my natural accent.
Come on. Go full. I can't say your town name.
It's somewhere between like a Ouija accent and a Edinburgh accent, really.
It's not quite my voice, but you know.
He was in and he was giving Emmanuel, who was working till 11 that night, a bit of shit for like, because he didn't have enough money, and he was wanting to buy cigarettes, and he was wanting a vape, and he was wanting this and that, and it was, yeah. But he squared up to me, and I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to achieve here, because I was like I
what
know
are you
who's
gonna do?
losing.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Let's go get the
Yeah.
alcohol.
Oh God, I'm intimidated.
I just stared at him because I'm like, look, if you go for me, we know how this is gonna end, both of us.
He'd just like step out the way and he'd fall over.
So yeah, it's all fun and games working in a supermarket.
Yeah.
I wish I had more sort of, look, I worked in the bakery section, so like we talked to people, like they could talk to us,
Yeah.
of course, but not a lot. Like the worst thing I had to go through is like we have daily orders, so if someone's like, oh, I need this particular thing and I want to make sure you have it, you can order it. So we'll keep it separate.
Yeah.
And this lady, she was going on holiday the day after, and she had ordered gluten-free bread, and we couldn't find it on like the delivery thing. And we were like, I'm so sorry, like we apologize, we can get it free of charge tomorrow. I'm so sorry, like early in the morning, it arrives at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And she was just bawling her eyes
Oh
out.
my god.
And like first one of my colleagues like my age was talking to her, and then we had to ask like one of the more older ladies that work there, like, please can you talk to her? I don't know how to handle this. And I was just in the back like cutting bread as I watched this, like, fascinating. And
Exquisite.
I look over at the wall of bread, I'm like, there's so much gluten-free bread on the wall. Has she looked
Yeah.
there? Like, of course, if you order it, say it, but has no one thought of the solution?
This is
Look
the thing,
at the
like,
wall.
ordering gluten-free bread to be like kept. It seems a bit odd because gluten-free stuff doesn't sell like.
No, but it's a security thing you have, just so
Yeah.
you know you'll have it because you're going
But
on
if you're
holiday and
shopping
everything.
gluten-free, you generally don't have like a stock issue when you're buying that sort of
exactly.
thing.
That's why I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I think like they agreed like, okay, she'll come in tomorrow. We can let her in early. It's no trouble. We'll
Yeah.
give it to her then. And then she walked past the giant wall of bread. I was like, oh, never mind. They have it. And you could have
just.
look there.
Yeah.
It's only small things like that. We had to run to the freezer if people asked. It's just not fun, but it's like I want because we sold like the frozen versions of like our pastries as well,
Yeah.
so you could bake them at home. And we had this lady that would always want 20 croissants.
Oh God.
Jesus.
So you're just standing there. I mean, I wanted a break anyway, so because you just take your time. The freezer it's cold, but you can sit.
Yeah.
Since 1, 2. Like, oh, she wants it. She'll wait.
Yeah.
No worries.
Working in like a general supermarket, it means that like I get asked like questions about a bunch of stuff, and one of them I get quite a lot is, do you have any longer date milk in the back? And then my favorite thing to do for this is just walk through the back, walk into the fridge, and just leave again and go, nope, sorry.
Nope. Yeah.
Generally, we probably will. I'm not looking for it though.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
You're getting a
no.
walk.
Because like we normally have like milk on like available there on the shelf that's like a week long date,
Yeah,
and I'm like, why are you wanting longer?
Yeah.
But bakery, like, God, we have an issue with bakery, not in like that it's a department feud or
Yeah.
anything, but our
It's
store.
like being like the outside observer. It's like watching a civil war.
But our store runs a promotion where if you buy 2 pizzas and a bottle of juice, you get either a cinema ticket or a Sky like money voucher thing for buying a movie online.
Yeah.
Now, the card that advertises this, everything is in the fine print
Of course.
in terms of what the pizzas you can get are. It is 2 medium pizzas, but you can only get the stone baked or deep pan crust. You can't get stuffed or well fired, and you have to have exactly 4 toppings. If it's a create your own, or you can buy one of the pre-made ones from the shelf. And it's very specific bottles of juice. And this causes so many problems
Yeah.
because people keep picking up well-fired bases and going through the checkout and going, why isn't it coming off? And I like have to go, look, sorry, you need to read the fucking fine print.
You're just saying like, I know it's annoying. I can't help it. It's
Yeah.
not me that does this,
Uh-huh.
I
and
didn't
I'm not
make the
allowed to
policy.
put signs up to make it clear.
Yeah. So a woman went through recently and was like, oh, why is it not coming off? And she was being served by someone. She was at an actual checkout and there's a queue, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I'm looking and I'm like, okay, well fired juice. And I'm like, okay, let me go check something. I run up and I'm like, right, yep, still definitely no well fired. I come back and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, well fired bases just aren't included. And she's like, well, it's not very clear, is it? And I'm like, no,
Correct.
I'm sorry, it's not. As like, unfortunately, that's just how they're advertising it. And she was just staring at me, and I'm like, I'm not changing it. I was like, you can go get other bases if you want.
Yeah.
I was like, but I've had to correct this mistake too many times.
Like at some point, like the first few times, they're like, I'll help you out. Do you want me
Yeah.
to grab something for you? I can help you. But if someone's too entitled,
Yes.
I'm like, you go get your ass over there.
if someone is doing like a create your own pizza,
Yeah.
it's up to the bakery colleague to tell them that the base they select
Yeah.
isn't in it. If that bakery colleague hasn't told them that, I'll get a pizza that is included and give them the deal because it's not their fault.
No, it wasn't. they
If
were
you are
told.
picking
Yeah.
up a specific pizza that's pre-made, it's entirely on you for not reading the fine print
Yeah.
and also acting like an entitled little bitch.
People just love being entitled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like for bakery things, for us, it's a thing where you can get we only shelf full loaves, but if you just ask us for half,
Yeah.
we'll just put half in a bag, reprice it. It's fine. But there's a certain time where you stop doing that because
Yeah.
you've cleaned all the machines, which are a nightmare to clean. And you don't want people to show up in the morning like there's crumbs everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think what I usually do is like 20 minutes to close. I'm like, we're done.
Yeah.
If you want, it's there. I'm not making it. And then people would show up. It's like, can you cut this baguette in small pieces? Because we do that as well. And I'm like,
I get that.
That is gonna fully fuck up my machine. And I told them, sorry, we don't do this after this time. I'm like, oh, but like yesterday I was here and they did it. I'm like, well, first of all, why do you need 2 baguettes the same day? Why didn't you just get 2 yesterday? But okay. And you just have to, I'm sorry, I've cleaned the machines already. I won't be able to do this for you today. But you can cut it at home. It cuts pretty fine.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, but they did it yesterday. Why did they do it yesterday? I'm like,
I don't know.
I just cleaned the machines.
Yes.
And at this point to close, I'm already scanning things to be like put out for the day.
Yeah.
So I'm just there like, go away now.
Yeah.
I've told you my reasoning. I'm clearly not, oh, I'm still cutting my bread. Please give me more bread. We're
It's like our bakery and store closes at 8, but generally the sort of create your own pizza stuff stops at maybe 7, half 7. So they have time to, like clean everything up and, and get ready to go home. The amount of people that go up and ask for a fucking pizza when they're standing cleaning and there is a sign saying, sorry, we're closed. And then they kick up a fuss and I'm like, well, you stop being an arsehole. Yeah.
Like there's some departments even for us that closed early. Like we had, of course, the cheese department, which was like across from the bakery. So they were like, oh, if someone has a question or needs anything, just walk over and help them out because I'm not even paying for it, but sure, fuck it, I'll do it. And they would always leave very early. And we were just there because no one's going to think, no cheese person, bakery person.
Yeah.
Like they're going to look around for anyone else. I mean, I never help people because we had a rule. You cannot send a customer out on their own if they're looking for something. You had to accompany them.
Oh God.
So I just developed a strategy of stock boy, come over here. They're looking for this. Can you take them there? Because it was not a store that was close to my house. So I didn't know the layout at all. I knew how to get to the bakery and get bakery shit and pay.
Yeah.
That's it. And you just see the stock boys are just like, how dare you?
You bitch.
Because sometimes I went through the effort of actually walking with them somewhere and being like, here's a boy. Good luck.
We don't need to accompany them. I'm just like, it's
nice.
up there in that aisle.
You'll see it.
Near the top, on your right hand side. Good luck.
Yeah.
May God be with you.
Yeah.
Go forth.
I'll only take them up if I'm like, it might be here. And then I'll look. I'm like, sorry, it's not here. And they're like, will it be anywhere else? And I'm like,
no, probably not.
Also, I work in a small store, and it's the amount of times that people are like, well, it says you have it online. And I'm like,
did you check this store stock online or the whole
yeah, this is the thing. You
stock?
can't like go on and check specific store stock.
Yeah, that's fucked then.
It's literally it'll just say we sell this. It doesn't mean we sell this in your local store. A woman came up to us and was looking for chipotle paste.
Wow.
And I'm like,
that's oddly specific.
yeah.
I don't know if that's a wow moment.
And so we're like
I'm
looking.
very much an outsider.
Well, I'd never heard of it before. So we're like looking for it in sort of the general area we expect it to be. Sort of the Mexican and like pasta sauce area.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah, this is the foreign foods bit. I was like, we're like, if it'll be here, it'll be anywhere. And the woman just turns her phone. She's like, it says you have it here. And she's on Google. So she turns her phone at me and she's on Google. And so it's just telling her that she has a Greg's near her in her town. And then it's
Greg's.
showing her the other supermarket chain that's also nearby. She's like, it says you have it. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It says we are nearby. And I'm like, if you're looking for it, there is a bigger Greg's in another town over if you want to go there. And then she leaves. But she is like, it says you have it here over and over. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It fucking doesn't. It's the same when alcohol is on sale, because when you're in Scotland, so many laws apply to the sale of alcohol. You can't promote it. You can't have it on
We don't have a problem. We do not have a problem.
The thing is, all of these laws do not solve any of the problems.
No, they really don't.
So we have
They try their best.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah.
So we have restrictions on the time of sale, which I think England has, but it's not as strict.
Nah.
I don't even think it's a bad thing. It's one of those things. If you implement it to stop alcoholism, I don't think it's gonna
The-
work. But it's a good rule to
I
have.
don't mind the time thing, but in terms of minimum unit pricing and the fact that we cannot promote alcohol in any capacity, meaning we can't include it in any multi-buy deals,
Oh, yeah,
any
yeah.
like meal deals which pertains to like Valentine's and stuff like that,
Yeah,
is a pain in the ass, because always online on TV is advertised as having alcohol on sale. Now, alcohol specific adverts aren't on UK TV, but you'll see them on like the website and stuff like that. And so people see like the Valentine's meal deal. It's like, oh, you get you get 2 starters, your mains, and a bottle of wine.
yeah.
In the UK, sorry, we can't. In Scotland, sorry, we can't include the wine. But everyone comes in, it's like, why can't we buy the wine with it?
Yeah, you showed me I could. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't make
it's
sense.
like everyone's
I
like,
was
oh, it's on the website, or they'll look at it on the website and it'll be like a big crate of beer and it's like £10, and in store for us it's £15-16, and like,
Yeah.
but it says £10 on the website. I'm like, if you put your postcode into that and try to order it for delivery, it will tell you £15.
Yeah.
Because it's Scotland. Like,
Yeah.
do you know where you live? Do you know the laws that we have in place?
We do things differently.
Yeah, I was like, that's the English pricing of it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the entitlement of some people with these things. Like, sometimes I buy things because they're, in a multi-power,
Mm-hmm.
like, there's a deal for them. If I ring it up, it doesn't appear. I'm like, oh, well, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Or, they forgot to get the little sign out. I will never in my life be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's more than, like, £20 difference, I don't care.
Yeah. Like a guy came up to me the other night and was just like handed me this like tub of butter and was like, find the price, and I'm like,
All right.
what? And like one of my colleagues just comes up and he's like, oh, sorry, it's no scanning through the self scan. I was like, he's like, it's not showing up in the system. I was like, all right, okay, cool. So I pull out my little hand thing to add it to the system. I like scan it. He's like, how much is it? And I'm like, well, it's £3.60. He's like, well, it says £1.75 in the shelf, and I'm like, no.
No.
I was
No,
like,
it doesn't.
I was like, no. He was like, why does it then? And I'm like, because it's been put wherever they can find a space for it.
Yeah.
I was like, the fact that it's not currently scanning through the till means that someone hasn't been able to print out a price ticket for it. It's like, he's like, but it's £1.75 in the shelf. I'm like, no, it's not. I was like, it's £3.60 and you're paying £3.60 for it.
The shelf does not dictate the system, sir.
Well, the thing is, in some cases, if something has been put in the wrong place, you give them it for that price.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it does.
Unless they're entitled.
Unless they're entitled, but also
So it does overwrite the
If
system.
it's something like that,
Yeah.
where it's like half the price, I'm gonna be a little less inclined to give it to them
Yeah,
for that. I think it was the last one they had anyway. It was like such a big like tub of butter that like you could crack someone's skull with it if you hit them with it. And he was like, it's £1.75.
Like a
shelf, and
courgette.
I'm like looking at it and I'm like,
No way.
no way.
My dude, if this is 175.
I'm like, no, that is like £2.50 at least. So yeah, that was. Yeah, no, that's the thing, is like people walk into supermarkets and it's like all like logic and intelligence leave their brain and it's just entitlement that gets left behind. And I
Just get stupid.
yeah,
Get stupid.
I don't understand how people can interact with another human being and think that treating them as less than human is the right thing to do.
I
Yeah.
don't get it. I think some people just have a view of like, well, I work here and you work in a supermarket.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a horrible view to
Yeah.
have.
It's when people argue with me on policy of the store.
It's like you're personally responsible for policy. Like,
Yeah.
you made it. It's like,
No, it's not
I
even
work
that.
for-
It's when they argue with me that I'm wrong. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I work here.
yeah, yeah.
Like a woman tried to bring back a charging cable. Just the cable.
No,
None
no
of the
case,
packaging, no
rec-
receipt.
Yep.
And there's a thing with technology. It does not matter how much it is or what the product is. It needs to be in its original packaging and with its receipt.
Yeah.
And she was not happy with this.
Well,
And so she's
how
dealt
dare
with
you.
the person on customer service desk. She's dealt with someone else who they were like, is this, I'm just want to double check.
Yeah.
And they were like, yep. And so they came and got me because the customer was irate. And I walk up and I'm like, look, sorry, that's just the policy. And she was like, oh, well, if you bought something like that, would you keep the box? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And she just, without missing a beat, just went, no, you wouldn't. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you want to come to my home and see how many boxes I still have lying around for stuff?
Like every piece of electronic, I think I legit still have the box for
I still have the
everything.
box for this mixing desk up in our attic.
Yeah, like technology is the one thing where I am so self-conscious, like, I shouldn't throw that. I'll keep forever.
That's it. I still have, well, not the outer boxes for the microphone. I did chuck those out, but like they come with carrying cases anyway.
Yeah.
But like the box for the microphone stands, the box for most of the cables that come that we use. Like I keep my boxes for everything, mainly because I think, well, especially like stuff like computer stuff, because I'm like, well, I might sell it off when I'm done with it. Because like I still have my Apple Watch box and I just need to find it because I'm gonna sell off my old Apple Watch. I have my phone box. It's like, why would you? She was like, oh, I bought it like 2 days ago, and I'm like, and she's like, I only tried it today, and I'm like, why would you buy it, open it, throw out the packaging, and then test it 2 days later to find out if it actually worked?
Yeah, testing is the first thing you do.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I test it. And then if it works, I'm like, okay, keep the receipt just in case.
For a bit until you find it, you're like, oh, I still have this. Then you chuck it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like charging like the cable, like packaging. I'm like, I'll give it a week.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if it stops working, that's on me for buying a cheap, shitty cable.
Exactly.
But it was the fact she was like, no, you wouldn't. And I'm like, bitch, don't you fucking try.
No.
You don't know
cannot
me.
tell
I had to
me.
walk away because I was like, I'm going to get in a fight with her. I'm going to be brawling on the ground with her in a minute.
Like our store had a policy where if you could find the same exact product cheaper at another store, we'll reimburse the difference.
Oh, I'm so glad we don't do that.
But there's so many tiny rules attached to this. Like it cannot be on sale. It has the exact same grammage and brand. It has to be the exact same. And like, I don't understand people that will go through the hassle of this process because you need to have receipts for both.
Oh, yeah,
within
yeah.
the same, I think, week. So this means you were looking for products.
Yeah.
And usually it's not more than like a 20-cent difference. You want that 20 cents reimbursed?
Yeah, like who is buying something, you know, if it's an expensive product, you've done your shopping around, you've found where it is at the best price, and then somewhere it happens to go on sale, maybe a couple of pounds cheaper. I'm cutting my losses.
Yeah, I'm also like, well, that's
It's gone on sale after I've purchased it. That's not my, you know, I don't deserve that difference in money back.
No.
I don't get people that do that.
No, same. Like, that's the one thing where I'm like, I'll cut my losses on so many things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like,
The amount of times
really
I've bought
don't.
stuff on Amazon at like, not full price, because Amazon never charges full price for anything, which is, you know, moralistically, we'll not get into that conversation.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Yeah, but then
Maybe.
I'll like pay their regular price for it, and then like 2 days later it's like on sale, and I'm like, that's on me. That's on me.
I always just assume it's like, oh, well, I've bought it. This shows that there's interest, and therefore it's probably on sale.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, even that's my way of justifying it to feel less shit
But
about
generally,
it.
I don't even look at like products
No.
prices after I've bought it, because I'm like,
No, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Like some things I like. If it's an expensive something that I've bought, I do like to look at it and be like, oh, you know, has the price changed?
Yeah, yeah.
Especially like expensive shoes. I just like to know.
On that topic, if another person brings in a Hoover at work, I'm gonna plug it in and fucking kill them with it, because I have had 3 separate customers come in and try and return Hoovers. The first time the customer came in with the Hoover just in hand, no receipt, no box, none of the extra attachments,
Oh.
and the thing was fucking filthy. He's like,
I bought it like this.
no, he came in and he's like, I just want to bring it back because it's just a bit shite, isn't it? He's like, it's not got much suction power. And I'm looking at the like, you know, the clear window.
Yeah.
It is filthy. I'm like, you have used this to clean your entire house.
Yeah. And thought you could just return it.
And there's like one of like the Hoovers, the base parts always have like a little plastic lining. on like the very bottom part.
Yeah.
And there's part of it just like hanging off, and I'm like, what
Jesus.
the fuck have you done? And he's just standing there with the Hoover in one hand and the power cable in another. And the person on the service desk was like, had explained to him, we can't take this back. Well, in fact, no, she hadn't, because I had happened to turn around and see him standing there, and I'm like, no, I'm dealing with this. And I went up and I had to explain to him. I was like, look, I'm sorry. I was like, unless you have the box, all the pieces that it comes with, and the receipt, we can't take it back. It's like, but I have my bank statement. And I'm like, that
means fuck all to me.
That's not a receipt.
Yeah, it was like, but that shows that I've bought it. He's like, it shows the store, it shows the price. And I'm like, but you could buy anything from the store
Yeah,
to
exactly.
add up to that price.
Exactly.
I was like, you could have bought it with other items, meaning that it's not. I was like, but we don't know it's come from the store. Plus, we can't take it back because you don't have the things that come with it. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go get my bank statement, and then you're going to have to take it back. And I'm like, oh, no, we don't.
We can't.
I was like, we don't take it back. So he left and he never came back.
Of course. Because what's he going to do? Go to the bank with his Hoover in hand. I just need the bank statement.
Yeah, like, I'm like, what?
And it's like, why? So I can return this? And even they really,
And I think it was
doesn't
8
work.
at night as well. And I'm like,
my
what
God.
bank is open? So he never came back. And then like a couple of weeks later, this husband and wife came in. They had the Hoover and it was in the box, but they didn't have the fucking receipt. And they were like, oh, it was my mother's. She's just no man. It's just a bit shite. I'm like, for fuck's sake. I'm like, sorry, if you don't have your receipt.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't even sell this one in store.
Oh, it's
So we
online.
can't give like a one-to-one exchange. If they had come in, said it wasn't working, anything like that, we could have done like a like for like exchange. That's also what applies to video games. You come and tell us it's not working, we'll give you 1-for-1 exchange, but we will never refund you for it.
No, yeah.
And they're like, oh no, we just want a different one. And so at this point, the manager's involved, and she's like, well, if you tell me when it was purchased, it's like I can go into the system and get the receipt, and we can get a refund for you. It's like, but we're no longer selling this this exact product, so we can't exchange it for anything or anything like that. And they're like, oh, we don't know. It was a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And she's like, would you have a date?
Yeah,
like a
like-
window?
Yeah,
And
like anything.
oh, we don't know. Just a couple of weeks ago.
God.
Like, what the fuck? And like, we phoned up the store earlier. The woman we spoke to said we could bring it back.
Who the
And we're all
fuck did
looking
you
and-
speak to?
We're all standing there, we're looking, and we're like, no fucking way. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was the lassie for the customer service desk. And we're like, fucking no way. And we're like, what time did you phone? And like, here, about 2:30 or whatever like that. And I'm standing there looking, and I'm like, I was on the service desk at that point. You certainly did not speak to me.
Oh.
I was like, there is no way you have phoned this store, spoke to someone, and been told that you could bring that back. And so they left. And then there was another 8. I was covering the 11 finish, which is the closing finish. And after 10, you can't do returns, exchanges, refunds. Everything's done and dealt with at the end of the night. Paperwork, everything. And this guy just walks in with a Hoover under his arm, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
In my head, I'm imagining this all in the same day. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
can this keep happening?
It's just a queue outside with so many people with Hoovers.
This was all within 1 month.
Oh my God.
So the guy comes up and he's like, just puts it down on the till and
my
slaps it,
Hoover.
and he's like, I want to return this. And I'm like, nope, go home. Just
Nope,
go
not
home.
happening.
He's like, oh mate, can you do anything? And I'm like, nope,
No,
go
I
home.
can't.
Do not
Go
give
away.
a single shit about you, mate.
He just dumps it, and your immediate response, he hasn't even said anything, is not fuck off on your bike. Not today.
I was like, you need to come back tomorrow during a reasonable hour, and we'll be able to return it for you then. I was like, but I can't do anything for you tonight. Please leave. So anytime I see someone walk in with a Hoover, I'm like, nope, I'm going on my break.
Yeah. No more.
So yeah.
I love how this kind of just turned into work stories. 'cause
Yeah,
Yeah.
We couldn't really go anywhere from
No,
shit.
you can't segue out of 3
No,
stories about
you're
shit.
stuck there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Quite like the shit.
Oh man, I think we should just draw this
I think
episode to a
that's-
close.
Yeah, I think this is just the end. Tales from the Gregs. Can we call it that?
The thing is, I don't want people.
Actually think.
Yeah, just to
Actually
clarify, I don't work in Greg's. I
Nah.
work in a supermarket that shall remain nameless because they scour the internet
Yeah.
to check
And we
for
trust-
mentions of it.
We trust Greg's not to do that, and even if they do, we do not actually
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, and the thing
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
Greg's are going to listen to this and hear the mention of supermarket and know that I'm not
Yeah.
talking about them.
Yeah, yeah.
Greg's, we love you. We'd love a sponsorship.
Yeah,
if you're
sponsorship would
listening.
be nice,
yeah,
but, you
sponsor
know.
us. That'd be
Greg's.
cool.
We will come work for you.
yes.
Yeah.
The whole Greg's thing just comes from a joke of the Greg's clothing line that is available and how ridiculous that is.
From a previous episode?
From a
That's
previous
gone up yet?
episode.
Again,
I think,
Greg's,
yeah.
if you want to give us some merch,
Oh,
We'll take it.
100%,
Yeah, I will wear a Greg's hoodie, t-shirt, whatever the hell
Yeah.
you've got.
we just don't want to support Primark.
Yes,
How much you
that's it.
got?
How much you got?
How much you got?
So thank you for listening to this episode of Nap. This absolute fucking shit fest.
I hope the two Gregs are listening.
Yeah. Goodbye from the shit show.
Goodbye.
See ya.